couple months ago, I made a video where I talked about my first impressions of this camera right here, the Lumix GF1. Just to sum it up, this is a camera that I bought used for $60, and I bought this to be my fun everyday carrier and to hopefully guide and help me decide what features and what kind of aspects of a camera I'm looking for my main photo camera, which I intend to purchase maybe at the end of this year or next year. Now, typically with this camera, I would have this set up right here with a 20mm kit lens, which I basically consider to be glued onto the camera. But I thought to myself, well, just because this camera is old and less capable than my new and enhanced Lumix GH7, I kind of figured, what the hell, you know, let's just go ahead and use this as my only photo camera for the day and use it with my lenses and treat it as if this was my primary camera. After all, one of the reasons why I did decide to actually spend some money on this camera is the fact that this is a micro four thirds sensor, just like all my other cameras, meaning all my current lenses can fit on this camera. So with that in mind, it was time to go ahead and put this little guy to the test and see if I would be happy and satisfied with this being my primary camera for the day. And potentially, could this replace my GH7? I'm just kidding, I love my GH7. Please, please, please do not fall over and break again. I can't go for that again. The first thing I noticed was just how cool this camera looks with my 17mm lens on it. My 17mm is by far my favorite lens that I use on my GH7, and pretty much any camera and any setup that I'll have a 17mm, aka 35 or 34mm full frame. That's always gonna be my favorite focal length and my favorite type of lens, no matter what camera system, no matter what lens I'm using. But my 17mm Olympus paired with my Lumix GF1 just looks like a total badass, and I love it. After I took this photo, I knew something was going on, something big. It's not an exceptional photo or anything like that, but when I took this photo, I remembered this sound. Probably the main reason, or one of the main reasons, why iPhone photography just doesn't do it for me. Even that fake shutter sound that they put on it, it doesn't click. I love a good and fun shutter sound. So yeah, when I took this photo, and I do like this photo, but I knew I'm making the right decision here. I don't know what it is. I think something about the light caught me on this one. This photo actually reminds me of this photo that I took in May this year. And I don't really like this photo. As a matter of fact, I kind of hate it. But what I found funny about this was in this area, and it was a pretty busy street and there was a lot going on. Everyone was on their way to do something and no one was blinking an eye. And I show up with my camera and just start taking some photos of this street with the golden light and hitting it and whatnot. The minute I do that, loads of other people are just pulling their iPhones out and taking photos of exactly what I'm looking at. And the exact same thing happened here. As soon as I started taking photos of the street, people stopped and started taking photos of it as well with their phones. Now look, I don't wanna go over my head here and say that I'm the one who inspired these guys to go ahead and try something new, pick up their phone and try photography and maybe get them into photography and bringing more people into this awesome craft. But the evidence does seem to be undeniable. To be honest, at this point, I could not believe that I was having this much fun with $60. Look, none of these photos are particularly anything, but I do like them. And more importantly, I was having a lot of fun, and the quirks and the oldness of this camera were charming. They were showing their charm, and they were just a pleasure. It honestly was just so much fun walking around with this camera and taking photos. I've been actually having a lot of fun with black and white recently. It's a genre that I didn't think I'd like that much, but I like a lot more. And it's definitely a genre that I want to start experimenting with and want to start turning more into a style and a significant part of my portfolio work. So for this shoot, I was at ISO 100 the entire time. Honestly, I don't think I'd feel much safer going anything above that. I'm sure 200 would be perfectly fine and not a problem, but I would think that anything above 200, you'd probably start seeing the age on the sensor, especially in the shadows. You'd probably start seeing a bunch of unwanted noise. Not the biggest problem, considering the fact that we have new noise reduction tools in Lightroom and so on and so forth, but I like keeping my editing process as simple as possible. I think the main thing on this camera that's really missing for me personally is a viewfinder. I know that there are separate viewfinders that you can get for the top up here, and I might look into that. I'm not 100% sure, but I would have loved to have a viewfinder similarly positioned to the viewfinder that's on the new Lumix L10. Something like that I just think would have made my life a lot easier. That means I wouldn't be having to rely entirely on the back of the screen. It's not really good quality. The image is kind of muddy. It's just a very old screen, and you can't really tell if your photos are in focus or out of focus, which is not really helpful. Of course, some of the photos that I took were out of focus, but that's not the camera's fault. That is entirely user error. Apparently, I'm really not that good at things I enjoy doing.
Yo, little dog.
I really like this photo. A guy who looked like he's been building boats since he was yay high. And I asked him if it was cool if I went ahead and took 1 or 2 photos, and he straight up ignored me. So I'm assuming he was fine with it. Now on my GH7, I would typically set my shutter speed around 1/50th, 1/60th, maybe up to 1/80th of a second if I want to get the kind of motion blur within moving subjects that I like in certain types of photos. But on this camera, 1/50th looks like this. So after struggling, playing around, and using these pigeons as essentially test subjects,
Fly out, bro.
it wasn't too long until I saw this. I love this photo. And not just because of the story and the moment and the composition behind it, but because this was a photo that really did make me feel like a beginner again. It was a photo where I actually didn't really know what to do on the camera. I was playing with it, I was testing with it, I was getting a lot of shots wrong. But the minute something important happened, something significant happened, the photo that could count, it counted. That was really cool. Honestly, every time I whack a new lens on this camera, it just looks cooler and cooler every time. I don't know what it is, man. It just looks so good. Another thing I would have liked with this camera is better hooks here on the side for a better or more efficient camera strap. I have a real issue with the camera straps that come box standard with cameras. So with this camera, I just went ahead and opted to just carry it around the whole time. Not a big deal considering how light and easy it is to carry, but it would be nice to just, make these a little bigger, like, any modern camera. I think the moral of the story here is cameras are awesome. And honestly, newer cameras, except for certain cameras that I do find very interesting and appealing, there's really not that many new cameras that raise my eyebrows anymore. I think cameras have gotten so good and so perfect now, both in video and photo, that quirky $60, 12.5 megapixels, micro four thirds, built in 09 cameras are way more appealing to me, at least. And I do think other people are feeling this as well if I believe the stuff that's going on Instagram and YouTube and all that. I'm not saying this camera will get you the same results as a newer, more modern camera. I'm saying it can get you even better ones if you try. I wouldn't use this camera for any type of client work or any large prints. It's not what it's meant for, it's not what I bought it for. But some of these photos might even end up on my website. And the pure fun and enjoyment and results of the quality of these images really proved to me that I was wrong. This camera really does deserve to live in my camera bag alongside the GH7. and borrow some of his lenses from time to time. And I do think the GA7's ego's been hurt a little bit, and I think he's gonna go ahead and have to prove himself in the next shoot. Now, I don't think he's gonna struggle with that, and I'm sure he will rise up to the challenge and do a really good job. He always does. That will probably be the next video on this channel. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please consider subscribing, liking, hitting the comments, whatever you want. Do you have the GF1? What's your favorite cameras? Do you prefer older cameras, newer cameras? I wanna know. Just, you know, I love this stuff. I love cameras, I love photography. And most importantly, just use your favorite camera. Use whatever camera you love, cheap, expensive, it doesn't matter. Just go out, take photos, and have a good time and build a body of work that you're really proud of. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next week.